Hey everyone, this is David Ellis and I'm here with Amy Kruzik.
Music.
And we're in a brand new studio. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different with ourselves. We did a show before on parasitism
And symbiosis.
and now we're going to be doing mutualism. So let's talk about mutualism. What is mutualism, Amy?
Oh, okay. So let me just see. I got my notes. Remember, I always come with notes. Okay. Mutualism is the idea that people help each other roughly on equal terms. You give, I give. Nobody's taking advantage of anybody. So no middleman, no skimming the profits, no one side quietly benefiting from the other. So let's do that. So think about it.
Well, I think that if you are going to have a mutually cooperative society, then what happens is that people generally tend to work to a shared or common purpose.
Okay. So let me just give you a little bit of background that I found out.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea really came by this guy from the 19th century.
Mm-hmm.
And he believed that people should trade work and goods directly with each other instead of relying on profit-driven middlemen. Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting, right?
The old barter system.
Yes. That came to mind when I was saying that. I'm like, oh, the barter system.
Yeah, the world went downhill steadily when the money system was actually introduced. So there was money in and of itself as a middleman, and the middleman is owned by the banks and the financial institutions. Yeah. So let's say I want a shiny backdrop for my little studio here at home.
Yeah.
And I know somebody with a shiny, cool, purple, pink, lilac backdrop. Right? I might trade you something for that thing. And it's something that you equally want. Like you might want, I don't know, a speaker at your house. Okay.
Oh, I want one of those speakers. Yeah. Or, right. Okay.
And I trade you the speaker and you give me that. So that's a direct sort of exchange between myself and yourself. It becomes more complicated when you decide that you want a speaker, so you're going on Amazon. Then you have to get your credit card to put into Amazon. And then Amazon is going to deliver you the speaker after you give them your credit card that goes to your financial institution, that goes to your money and your accounts.
Yeah.
And it's like, in the case of barterism, where there's mutualism, we both want to make a podcast. I give you speaker, you give me pink, shiny backdrop.
Yeah, that would look really good.
So there's a mutualism there. So I do think that there's something to be said for people who do not care to only money alone, and they emphasize bartering first. Okay,
but wait, I got a question.
Go ahead.
What about value?
Mm-hmm.
So if my curtains are $10 and your speakers are $20,
mm-hmm.
Do people think like that?
Remember that value is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Your curtains could be $5, but to me, for what I want to do, they may be worth my firstborn, as far as I'm concerned. Okay?
Yeah.
As far as I am concerned, they may be worth my firstborn. So I am wondering, when you say in terms of value, what does that mean?
That's what I'm asking. I'm actually just kind of contemplating on that.
Value is in the eye of the beholder.
Value is in the eye of the beholder. A lot of people think like, well, that's not $10. Yours is only worth 10 and you're taking my speaker that's worth 20. That's not equal.
Yes, but the only reason you would think that my speaker is worth 20 and yours is worth 10 is because you've added the money system.
I know.
which is the ultimate corrupter, because your $10 curtains could be ultimately valuable to me. I may have wanted those curtains from God knows how long, and then you add another situation. What if your curtains are vintage curtains from the 1930s?
They are.
Right? So value is in the eye of the beholder. If I want your curtains, I'm willing to give you a million speakers.
I know. I think that's where it gets mixed up.
Correct.
So how do we so those are like, let's say those are material things, like things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now what do we do with mutualism and relationships and friendships and coworkers and, you know, partnerships? And how do we become mutual? Because that's hard. Even in school, do you remember when you would have a project and a group project and you'd have like 5 people and 2 people would be doing all the work and the 3 would be the 3 would be goofing off, and it'd be like, wait a minute, this isn't fair. We're doing all the work.
Amy, I had that experience last month.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember
we have a event that we're putting on. Some people are doing all the work. People are not doing anything. I had that experience last month. It's not just a school thing.
No,
it's like a life thing.
It's a life thing. You're right. I went back to school. I don't know why.
Right. How about this in a marriage situation?
Yeah.
Okay. The woman stays at home and she does all the work in the household.
Yeah.
All right. She presses, cooks, cleans, does the laundry.
Yeah.
The man goes to his workplace and he works an 8-hour shift. But society has somehow made the fact the man goes out more valuable than what the woman does.
Yes.
Okay. And that has to do with him getting a paycheck, which goes back to the money system.
Yes, exactly. We've had this discussion with stay-at-home moms and moms that work. And I'm kind of,
people like to say it's chauvinism because, men are valued and women are not valued.
Yeah,
no, it's just because they're the ones actually collecting the money from the banks or the financial institutions. And that's actually what breaks it down to all of this nonsense. So I think society took a really big nosedive when the money system was introduced, and it's been introduced for eons and eons. But my point is mutualism has gone out the window. Like, there is no goodwill among men anymore. That's a thing of the past. It's dollars and cents right now. So if you are the kind of person who says, well, my time is valuable, and I put let me tell you something. Let's say I'm a plumber.
Yeah.
I'm charging $50 an hour. Okay?
Yeah.
All that says is that my time to spend with you is $50. Okay?
Yeah.
Like a practitioner, like a doctor, whatever. This is what my time to spend with you is. Okay? I want this monetary value. In that, there is a devaluation of yourself as well. Because literally, the 1 hour of your life that you have just spent with this person is equivalent to $50. Let me ask you a question. If a guru who's going to tell you the answer to your problem, let's say you have cancer, and I charge you $50, are you going to be paying more? Do you think that it's worth the same $50? That's why value is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. Somebody has the answer to your cancer problem. Okay?
Yeah.
They're $50. The doctor down the road is charging $50 and the plumber is charging $50. Are you going to tell me that each one of these services is equal in value?
No.
So what are we talking about here? Values in the eye of the beholder. The person who's going to cure your cancer is more valuable.
Yeah.
and you are going to pay more for it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's probably a good idea to get rid of the money system, because it's very, very false in the way it's applied.
That's so interesting. How would it look to you then if we were to get rid of the money system? I don't know how that would look. I'm even trying to think about it.
Well, you don't have to think about it. People in the pioneering Americans used to barter all the time.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of your perception of value. How much is a horse worth to you as opposed to a fur coat in winter? How much is a horse worth to you in the desert?
Yes.
These are the kinds of things you have to take into consideration. So it's based on the perception of value. And the real perception of value is based on your necessity or your need. So as an example, I need something done to my car this morning. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I go there, and this guy's looking at my little hanging in my car, the rear view mirror. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one of those really cool evil eye hangings on the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my God!" Right?
Yeah.
I've been looking for one of those for God knows how long, and I'm like, "Oh." Now in the barter system, I say, update my software and you can have that. But
yes.
no, we have to go back to the money system. So he's going to charge me, I don't know, $50. And I'm going to tell him, you want that hanging on my thing? $50. It's a middleman. There's no need for that.
No, there isn't. I don't know if we can ever, because things have evolved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Industrial Revolution, everybody, that happened the 19th century. And I think that just evolving is not like, I get the barter system, but that was then, and this is now. I think it still goes on. I think it still goes on. I used to do it when my kids were young, and I used to barter. Okay, you watch my kids tonight, I'll watch your kids another night.
Bartering of services.
Yeah. So that was really cool. We didn't say, well, I'll do it for $50 or anything, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we had a mutualism, mutual. Things are mutual.
A mutual understanding and a mutual agreement, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what happens when mutualism becomes, what am I going to say, taken advantage of? Because I feel like that's happened to me when I'm like, a mother would call me up and say, oh my gosh, I need to go, blah, blah, blah. Can you pick my kid up from school today?
Mm-hmm.
And it would happen, and it would happen. So I'm not going to leave a kid at school, and do that. So I'm going to do it, right? Because I'm going there anyways. But when is it taken advantage of?
When it's taken advantage of, it turns into parasitism. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's when it turns into parasitic. Yes.
Yeah, it turns into parasitic behavior. Yeah. So I think the difference between mutualism and parasitism is that there's a mutual understanding of shared benefit. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a give and take situation. The problem is, as long as you're dealing with humans, there's always going to be one human who wants to take more than they are willing to give.
Yes.
And it's becoming worse and worse in today's world and society, where people have lowered capacity, so they don't feel that they can give as much, but they still want to take.
They still want to take. And when does it become, so let's say that, when can we get it back to symbiosis, back to where, or mutualism, if it's parasitic and we see that it's parasitic, they don't see that it's parasitic, but I see it's parasitic. So how do we get it back to, hey, you know what? I don't mind doing this favors for you all the time, but I feel I'm being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You have to have those conversations.
These are hard conversations to have.
They are.
Because if there is no set value, that's the good thing about the money system. Okay. Yeah. If there is no set value, then it's very hard to argue for being taken advantage of.
Yes. because they could come back and say, well, you're going to school anyway, so what's the big deal?
Yes, or they can simply say, well, you looked after my kids, or you picked them up from school twice, but then the last time I picked up your kid, I had to wait 2 hours, so that's kind of like twice. So these are the kinds of issues that you will run into.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, everybody knows, objectively speaking, right? Subjective, it's how you feel, how I feel. Objective is what the facts are.
Yeah.
And the facts can be brought down to a simple matter of quantity and quality. So as an example, if I scratch your back 3 times, you scratch my back once, one of us is benefiting more than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's a toughie. This one's a toughie. I don't know how you rate it, because even when you bring in generosity, mutualism, generosity, like mutualism assumes that both sides benefit, but generosity, like, is like, I don't require anything back. I'm giving this to you.
Look at the neighborhood carpool. So we're gonna carpool and we're gonna drive one car to work. One day it's Amy's, one day it's David's, one day it's somebody else, Robert's. Right. Okay. On my day, my car has an engine problem and is in the shop.
Yeah.
The onus is on me to volunteer my car twice after that.
Yes.
The onus is on me to volunteer my car twice after that. How many people will do that?
Not many. I think this is a learned behavior. I think it's the way you were brought up.
It is.
I think so. I think it's, yes, I get exactly what you're saying.
And the thing about it is, I don't think that too many people are brought up properly where this is concerned.
Yeah.
Because the onus is on you to actually volunteer your car twice. But the fact of the matter is, people will not pipe up and say, look, it's not fair to you guys that my car was down and we had to use Amy's car twice. Yeah. What they would normally do is just shut up and just go back into the rotation, which is not fair to the other people.
Right.
Right.
But getting back to the generosity, that one's sticking with me for some reason.
Here's the thing: the generosity is a good thing because it establishes good faith. Yeah. So let's say we're carpooling, okay? Yeah. And we're doing the rotation, and it is your rotation and stuff like that. Your car is down.
Yeah.
And I come to you and I say to you, Amy, your car's down. I still want to drop you to work or whatever the case may be. Get in the car, okay?
Yeah.
And you say to me, no, my car's down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just volunteer my car twice when my car gets working again and stuff like that. And I say, Amy, it's okay. We understand that you have good faith with regard to us.
Yes.
And we will absolutely drop you to work. Don't worry about it.
Yes, good faith. Where's that? That's the good faith. And the fact that good faith means you don't keep track of it. Generosity is you don't keep track of generosity. Like, oh, I did 5 generous things today.
Love is generous, love is kind. It does not keep track of wrongs or ills.
No.
You remember that poem?
Love is kind. Yeah, I do remember that.
All right. And so generosity does play a part in that. But then once again, we go back to the upbringing. Upbringing is a very important thing.
Yeah.
The understanding that people can be of service to other people without expecting something back. And by the way, in the Bhagavad Gita, this is a sin, huh?
Uh-huh.
In the Gita, this is a sin, right? Fruitive action is a sin, okay? And in most religions, it should be a sin, okay? Which is why in Christianity, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than a camel to go through the eye of a needle.
Yeah. Yes.
Because the rich man is mercenary in nature and he does things out of fruitive action.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I think people generally tend to not thinking in terms of being of service to others. And I think that this mercenary world that we're living in, it breeds and foments people who have lost their way and lost their soul.
Yeah.
And it's promoted everywhere.
Yeah, it's promoted. Okay. Well, let me give you some little discussion questions. How about that?
Sure.
Okay. So, do you personally tend to give more than you receive in relationships or the reverse?
Oh, absolutely. I give more than I receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the upbringing is different, yeah?
Yeah. And I think that comes down to the people pleasing behavior.
You see, you fall into that category, yes.
Yeah.
But your intention, listen, when people meet each other, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody. It could be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, okay?
Yeah.
People go into relationships with the idea, what can this person do for me? They never think, what can I do to make this person's life better? It's like, what can this person do for me? And this is why I think people have a lot of problems, because I think a lot of people generally are parasitic. They've been conditioned to be parasitic. All right. So whenever they go and they interact with people, it's like, you will make me look good. You will bring me physical intimacy. You will do this.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with, gee, how can I make you smile today? How can I make you happy? I see that you're struggling with this and so on. And it's really, really disgusting. They're like people, there should be a school for this. You would think, no, I'm sorry. We used to have schools for that. We used to call them Sunday schools.
Yeah.
And madrasa, right? And these kinds of things, right? Madrasa is Muslim Sunday school.
Oh, okay.
Right. We used to have these kinds of training centers for children. We don't have it anymore.
No.
You have a bunch of parasitic children looking at other children like, you're in service to me. Okay?
Yes.
And then we sit down and we wonder, gee, why did the world get so screwed up? It got screwed up because we didn't teach people at a very early age that it's not all about you.
Man, I was a preschool teacher, so I know all about this and seeing him at that age, right? And you could see the grooming process starting at a very young age. If a child wanted another child's Pokemon card, they would groom them and make that child feel like so bad that he would be like, oh, you can have it. I'm like, what just happened? I saw the whole grooming process over days. The child would bring this card to school and it'd be like, whoa. And I'm like, no. You can't trade at school. You can't trade those cards at school. You're going to have to talk to your mom about that.
I think they learn it from the parents.
They do.
And it's a very sad thing. So now it's the survival of who's the meanest.
Yeah.
Which is something to behold. I actually have seen it in younger children and younger adults, right? And social media is not helping them either.
No. Oh my gosh. No.
Like I cannot stress enough how poisonous social media is for your kids. Right? Every kid has a phone. Every kid is on social media. Every kid is learning every vile thing that the world has to give. And so the adults are not better because people would like to parent and they think that the basics in parenting is keeping your kid out of harm. How about teaching your kid simple morals and so on? Like mutualism is mutual shared benefit. Okay.
Yeah.
The ideal is symbiosis, where we live in harmony with each other, where everybody benefits.
Yeah.
But mutualism is something that you actually have to think about and have the character to actually go through the motions of mutualism. I understand that I'm putting you guys at a disadvantage. I volunteer my services. I volunteer.
Yeah. But that's because you want to do that, right?
Correct.
That's because we want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do we know when an exchange has stopped being equal? We might have talked about this already.
When an exchange has stopped being equal, there is a clear benefit that one party is getting over another. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, as an example, if it is that we're trading Pokemon cards, I have like 3 decks of Pokemon cards and all the coolest ones, and you have like no decks of Pokemon cards and so on. There's no mutual benefit, and then there is jealousy that is going to start happening.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then we emphasize the concept of boundaries. If you see somebody who's taking advantage of the mutual shared benefit that you're supposed to be taking into account, then that person should be immediately stopped.
Yeah.
But then these are tough conversations to have. It's like, Amy, I see you have 2 decks of cards and everybody has none.
Right. Well, to me, that would be like, well, wait, am I supposed to? I'm not a nice person if I don't share these then.
Oh, granted, if they are indeed your cards, then I don't see a problem with it.
Right.
But if you are doing the thing where you're giving 1 card to get 2, giving 1 card to get 3, that kind of thing, and you are basically preying on people, then it's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing. Oh my goodness. So this is funny story. So I was raised Catholic, right? And we had to do pre-Cana classes before you get married. You had to do pre-Cana. Do you know? Yes. You know what those are? Yes, I do. Yes. So we had to go, I think, for 6 weeks. And I remember, and this stuck in my mind. This is why mutualism, I sometimes don't agree with 50-50. So the priest is like, marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is 70-30, 60-40. And I'm like, that's interesting. But guess what? I get it.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
I get it. You cannot have 50-50 because then you'll just be arguing all the time because you don't know the value of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Right? The equal value. So I found that very interesting. And I lived by that. That stuck in my mind. And it's like, if I'm sick, then the husband is going to have to take over the children's work and go to work and do all the other stuff.
Correct.
Because
that's 90-10. Correct.
That's 90-10, right? And then when I'm back, let's say I'm better now and I can do my thing, and then something happens with him and now I have to take over. Maybe I can't go do his job, but I can cut the grass or do whatever his little chores are, right? I have to step up. It's almost like you have to step up.
You have to step up. Now, let me give you another scenario. Okay. Let's say your husband has been a handyman his entire life.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have been raised in a glass case.
Oh gosh, no.
Let's say you have been raised in this glass case. You don't know how to cook. You don't know how to clean. You don't know how to do laundry. You don't know how to do any of these things, right? And your husband goes to work and he comes back home and he does the things and so on. Where is the onus now? How does that work?
Well, guess what? I guess we were raised by good people because
you are lucky. You are lucky.
Yes.
I keep telling you, you are very, very lucky. You got somebody who is of substance and so on. I am telling you that there are a lot of people out there that usefulness is not, what it should be.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's say you're raised in a glass case and you don't do that stuff. Well, that's going to cause friction for sure.
Not necessarily. If your husband has been living alone and he's been used to doing all the things himself,
well,
it's just a continuation, right? However, the onus would be on you if you are a good person to get up and learn.
Yes. Learn how to cook. Learn how to clean.
The onus would be on you to get up and learn, but most people don't have that on board. They don't. It's easier to sit down and let somebody else do things.
Yeah.
And I mean, people who are watching this broadcast, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all have met at least one person who is that lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is for sure. That is for sure.
Yes.
But I love that. Okay. So as we end here,
Mm-hmm.
let me give you some real life scenarios. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So, a few roommates agree to split chores and bills evenly, but nobody defined what that means. One person cooks constantly and doesn't mind cleaning. Another handles all the bills and admin. A third does basically nothing, but insists they contribute in other ways. It works until someone finally gets tired and says something.
Okay. Well, that would be a bit late to say something. Something should be said at the beginning of that arrangement. And I wouldn't start with saying something. I would start with, let's have an intervention. Sit down. What have you done this week? A, go. B, go. Well, I've contributed in other ways. What exactly are the ways that you contributed? What exactly are the ways that you contributed? Be very specific.
Yeah. You know? Oh, I tied the garbage bag up and put it in the pail. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
So you'll notice that I built an entire house next door, which included, stuff. So these are the kinds of things that you might want to do. The intervention should absolutely happen, but I think clear guidelines in terms of mutual exchanges are very important.
Okay? Yeah.
But let me tell you, here's another aspect. If you love somebody and somebody's a friend of yours and so on, you don't even have to do that.
You don't?
No, because if both people were brought up properly and come from the point of view, I want to make you happy, I want to make you be okay.
Yeah.
Then from the get-go, even without the mutual shared agreement, they would be immediately trying to eliminate the chores barriers of the other person. And that is the best situation.
Yeah, I like that. Now I understand why my dad always had a wash and dry dish chart for everybody. We would take turns and he would put our names and this Monday, Amy, you have to dry dishes and you have to, like he made it kind of.
So you didn't have a household, you had a working environment. You had a manufacturing shop, a household manufacturing shop.
I mean, because guess why? I had some siblings that shirked their responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of them.
You go to the board and say, who's working the machine today?
Who has to do the dishes today? Let's see. Okay, good. I don't have to. I can go.
That's actually a good system.
It is a good system. It worked. And then we would swap and say, oh, hey, Joe, can you do this one for me? And then I'll do that on Thursday for you.
Excellent.
Right? That's mutualism.
Your dad was a smart man.
Yes. He was a teacher. He knew how to do it. All right. Let me give you one more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 small business owners. One's a massage therapist and one's an acupuncturist. Agree to send clients to each other. For a while, it's a steady trickle both ways. And then one of them gets busier, stops referring as much, but still expects referrals to keep coming in because that's the deal we made.
That's a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
That's a daily occurrence. I refer people to other people all the time.
Yeah.
I think, especially in the wellness community, there are people that suffer from lack mentality. And so they don't refer people because if I can't fix it, nobody else can, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And these people are a blight on the community. They don't refer when they need to, and their clients suffer as a result of it.
Yeah.
And so, these are exceptional cases. But in that case, once again, boundaries need to be established. Okay.
And then once they're not established, that's when you need intervention and say,
Correct.
hey, look, I have a meeting once a week and let's air our laundry out here and see what's the problem.
Exactly.
That's helpful.
Exactly.
The last time I wanted to ask you something that I didn't get to ask on the symbiosis and our parasitism, but can we talk about data centers?
Sure.
I'm switching the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about the benefits of them. Well, I could give you some of the benefits that I have. And the argument would be, are they parasitic? Okay. So the benefits include they power, and this may not be true, but you could probably say that. They power cloud computing, AI, banking, healthcare, GPS streaming, online shopping, and emergency communications. They create a construction jobs and some permanent tech jobs. They generate tax revenue for local communities. They can attract other businesses and investment. Many companies are investing in renewable energy and more efficient cooling technologies. Now, if we all rely on the internet every day, are data centers simply part of the modern ecosystem we all benefit from?
Amy?
Yeah.
A few years ago,
yeah,
around where I live, they tried to establish a uranium processing plant.
Oh no!
They tried to establish a uranium processing plant.
Yeah.
They use the same amount of reasoning that you just gave me right now.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They use the same reasoning that you gave me just now. They says, "Oh, it'll create jobs and it'll boost the economy and it'll provide tax revenue and all of that stuff." Right?
Yeah.
What part of uranium processing plant did they not get? Okay, all of that is wonderful. All of those benefits are wonderful. I'm getting sick here.
Yes.
Okay, my kid has a third limb coming out from his back. Like,
weird. That's like
there are inherent dangers to having data centers near to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't believe the hype. They say, "Oh, data centers are perfectly safe." It's a bunch of nonsense. It's lies. I work in technology.
Yeah.
Data centers bring a very heightened burden on the resources of any region that they absolutely are put into. Okay. Yeah. So when you hear on the internet, data centers are fine. I mean, they bring so much benefits and so on. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. The health of the people in that area is going to decline, period, point. And I don't care who on YouTube may censor this or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You want to be real? Let's be real. Okay? If somebody puts a uranium processing plant outside here, I don't care what protocols they have. I don't care what super security they have. There's always a chance that you might end up or wake up one day glowing in the dark, whether it's a 0.00001%. The next question is a question of value. Do you value the jobs that it'll create as opposed to that 0.001% of you waking up and glowing in the dark? If you put a uranium processing plant in any area, and over the span of 10 years, cancer rates in that area increase dramatically. Jesus.
Wait, are you saying uranium? That's what these are?
Uranium? No. What? The data centers?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, but it's a known fact. Any electrical field creates an electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
Any electromagnetic field has this is physics. I don't care. Like, you guys can fact check me all you want in the comments below. Any electromagnetic field will interact with other electromagnetic fields. Guess what an electromagnetic field is? Your body. Okay? Yeah. Now, this is just simple basic physics. I don't know why people are actually trying to argue this point. I don't know why they're trying to argue this point. The amount of electricity you need to power a data center is an inordinate burden on the infrastructure of the region that you're putting that data center in. It is.
I know,
And
but
it requires cooling. Like other
yes,
things, there are byproducts to that come on. Stop lying to people. The people who want to establish a data center, the people who are in charge and so on. Stop lying to people. It would be better if you are just honest with people, give them the reality of what's happening, right? Because I know a lot of people are not going to go research this.
No.
We're going to say it on the podcast and they're going to dismiss, oh no, David is just talking crap. Go research it.
Yeah.
Go research it yourselves. And so maybe what we need to do is actually provide sources for research. But I'm guessing that there's a lot of evidence of how electrical fields and electrical activity affect human beings. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Now, let's say it creates jobs and so on. It also creates urbanization in that area because you think that you put a data center here, jobs are being created, and people from other regions, from other parts of the country are not going to try applying for those jobs. So what is the benefit that you are going to have as an individual here? This is the kind of thing that really people should be checking. It's not that I'm against data centers. This is my business. I work in AI.
yeah.
Okay, I work in AI. More data centers is better stuff for me. Okay?
True.
Right?
That's
so
true.
if I am going to caution you here and tell you that there is a burden, and it means that I actually know that there's going to be a burden on the resources of that area, and you are going to regret it a lot of the times. Now, the next issue is whether it is worth it or not. Because if you want the place where you're living to develop, you absolutely should have a data center very near to you.
Got it. Okay. Because I was wondering that's a talk around here. Data centers coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you these concerns, and you say, is this true or not true?
Mm-hmm.
That massive electricity consumption that constrain the local power grid. True?
Yes.
Okay. Significant water use for cooling in some facilities, especially.
Yes, because these systems run very, very, very hot.
Hot, yeah. Noise from the cooling equipment.
Depends on the infrastructure that they're using.
Okay. Large land use with relatively few long-term jobs compared to the size of the facility.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
You think that you're going to create jobs and it's only going to be given to jobs of people in the area. These jobs are highly specialized jobs that require certain kinds of training, which, people in the surrounding areas may not have, which means that you have to bring people in. So the jobs are not actually going to the community. The jobs are being outsourced out of the community.
Okay. And last one. Some residents worry they bear the environmental impact, while the economic benefits flow mainly to large technology companies and distant users.
I live in an agrarian society.
Uh-huh.
There are farms, there are acreages, there are ranches in my vicinity. You put a data center here, then the same acreages, farms, ranches that produce food now have to share their water with the data center, which is going to be an unnecessary burden. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? It depends. If you are calling yourself the breadbasket of the country, meaning that all the wheat, all the cattle and dairy farmers are here, and then you decide that you're putting a data center here, then it's 6.5 dozen. Because here's the point. You will be part of the international community. There's a data center here, so it makes the world smaller, and it makes your place more attractive when it comes to technological wonders and stuff like that, right? Implemented technological wonders. But then you are trying to straddle two major titles, breadbasket and data hub. No, these things do not go together. They don't.
Yeah. So do these do they recycle their water? Is it a recycling when they use the water?
I don't think you understand cooling. Cooling means that the
not
water.
Cooling. Go ahead.
No, when you cool stuff like solenoid rods as an example, just as an example, you are going to lose the water permanently.
Okay. Well, then that's something I read where they with all the water use.
You're hoping that they can condense part of that water and reuse it again. That is an expensive system to put in place.
So
that is an expensive system to put in place, because you're thinking that they're going to condense the evaporated water because it's cooling, and then all of a sudden they're going to use the water again. Okay. You could try this experiment at home. I mean, like it's no big deal, right? You could just heat up some water, let it turn into steam, condense it, and see if you get the same amount of water when it comes back down.
I don't know where I read that somewhere, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
That is an expensive system. There are what, like probably 4 or 5 of these systems in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
People.
I know.
I think people are underinformed. I think people do not read. I think people, when you're talking about something like a data center, you're not talking about. You could be talking about mutualism. You're definitely not talking about symbiosis. No data center is symbiotic with the environment that it stays in, right? Mutualism, I could see it promoting the place where you live and putting it on the world stage as a data hub or whatever the case may be, or hub for. I could see that, but parasitism, definitely, it's a parasitic entity in your environment. It is.
Well, I just had to ask that question to you. It must have really you. I might have hit a nerve there, didn't I?
Yes, you hit a nerve, because I heard so much nonsense about people talking about data centers, and it's perfectly safe and there's no issue and so on, right? It's like this is the same argument they use, and I'm going to say certain governments use when they want to put a uranium plant outside your house, right? It's perfectly safe. It'll create jobs. You'll be sitting pretty, and it'll boost the economy of the place around you. And it's like, okay, just put the uranium plant there. And then years later, Chernobyl.
I know.
Chernobyl.
Yeah. Go watch the Aaron Brockovich movie. You'll get a lesson on all that.
We had a very recent example of nuclear capabilities going wrong in Japan. Go research that, guys, and see how much that poisoned the northern coast of Japan. Just go research that stuff. So when it is that you're talking about data centers, it's not a fear of, well, it's a different kind of risk, okay? Because I don't know if you know people who live under electrical grids. They're not happy.
Oh, what?
They're not happy. Okay.
Wait, are you talking about those big robot things?
No, electrical grids, the big power lines that run, the major power lines that run, and then you put your house underneath them and expect everything to go well. Don't take my word for it. Please go research the stuff on PubMed or any of those things and see the research that has been done where these things are concerned. Yes, electricity doesn't have to touch you to affect you all the time.
Well, yeah, no. Wow, this was fun.
Yes, it was.
we got some things covered here today. Yeah, David, so tell people how we can get a hold of you and I.
Okay, so guys, we have a store which is being developed right now. It's on the crawler beneath us. It's the shop.unifiedhealthsystems.com, where you can get courses and training at very reasonable rates. And then we have another shop, which is the One Extra shop, where you can get software, AI-powered software for your businesses at dirt cheap prices. For those of you who are interested in DNA testing and such like, you can hit me up on Instagram at Unified Health Regina, or you could just simply contact Amy or myself at info@onexa.com. Yeah, we also have a community that we're developing right now for you guys, which will allow you to access things for free.
Yes.
So, yeah, things for free. And not only that, it'll put you in a community where you can actually speak your mind, a non-censored community. So check us out and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Well, and also we have our new little podcast name coming up, right?
Yes.
Oddversations. So.
Yes. Where we have some very out of the way conversations, odd conversations. So
yes,
we're going to be doing that real soon.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Until next time.
Take care,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Okie doke.